I'm just a regular guy, just running a business in town. I just happen to work with dead people and their families.
Welcome back to another video. We are in downtown Ellensburg and we're at the Johnston and Williams Funeral Home. And I am with the owner, Henry, who's invited us out.
Hey, thanks for being here.
Yeah, totally. We're glad to be here. We're gonna go into a lot about the history, a little bit about your story, and the significance of really giving back to Ellensburg that this place has done for a long time.
Yeah. So the funeral home sits on the corner of 3rd and Ruby. It's been the funeral home here since 1929. You know, interestingly enough, the Methodist church that's across the street, the old Methodist church actually used to sit on this corner. And then that little house next door, which I also own, it's all part of the same parcel. That was the Methodist minister's house, and the church was here. So they built that new church, tore the old church down, and then this funeral home was built here, and it's been expanded, and I'll point out some of the expansion points as we walk through.
That's exciting.
But it's been a funeral home since 1929.
Okay, we're coming up on 100 years then.
Pretty close.
Yeah, we're inching our way.
96 years. Yeah,
that's awesome. Well, let's go inside. Let's check it out. If you like this kind of content and exploring Central Washington, especially these small business spotlights where I get to showcase some of our local businesses, be sure to like and subscribe. This is where the hauntings,
We call this the lobby. Late great Todd Van Beck would call it the threshold of sympathetic understanding.
Oh, there you go. That's a mouthful.
The original lobby ended at this wall. The building was originally built.
Okay.
And then ended at that wall that then goes into Joe's office.
Sweet.
So
hey, Joe.
In the 50s, between 55 and 57, the funeral home was expanded out these little areas. That's why it's kind of got that retro 50s, mid-century modern glass block vibe. And then
the glass blocks are coming back.
They are.
Yeah,
they are.
Anyway,
they also expanded the carport and they expanded the garage and the apartment.
Gotcha.
So the original footprint of the building was, I mean, it was big for the time that it was built. And in the 30s, after it was constructed, it was regarded as one of the most modern funeral homes in all of Central Washington. The functional floor plan of the funeral home hasn't really changed. We've got the chapel. This is the Evenson Memorial Chapel. It's dedicated to the memory of George and Betty Evenson, who owned the funeral home from 1946 to 1984. They were exceptionally dedicated to their community. Still a lot of little touches in this building that are from
that era,
from George and Betty. Our lamps were imported. Those Betty selected those herself. They were imported from Italy, and she also designed. She and George designed and installed the stained glass.
You're basically like nodding to that period by leaving those things and everything.
Well, I mean, these are classic. I mean, why would you want to?
No, it's a cool historic building.
It's a historic building, and it's a historic funeral home.
Yes.
So, like, when you're selecting a funeral home, I mean, you want to walk into somewhere that feels comfortable, that feels like a home, not like walking into a real estate office. No offense.
Or none taken. Yeah.
Or an Edward Jones brokerage or something.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I mean, you want to have the.
You don't want that corporate or even like a hospital feel. You want it to feel like a home.
Yeah, and so I mean, our furniture is a little bit mismatched, and we kind of have a couple quirks. Barrel ceiling was very innovative in '29 when it was put in.
Oh yeah.
A lot of folks maybe have been here before in the last several years, and they remember that we had chairs. I just wasn't a fan.
Yeah.
Okay. Decided to go back to the pews. We can actually fit more people in our chapel now. All said and done, this funeral home can fit. We can fit about 150 people.
Oh, wow.
The average funeral size in Ellensburg that we've seen consistently is maybe 100 people.
Oh, so completely capable of accommodating.
The funeral home is exceptionally capable of accommodating services. So this is one of our 2 viewing rooms, or what I guess used to be viewing rooms. So back in the heyday, when this funeral home was doing almost everything burial, the workflow,
which is not the same now, right?
No.
Okay.
Workflow is pretty much essentially the same. Get brought back to the funeral home, embalmed, meet with the family, dress, put in your casket, put in a viewing room, move from viewing room to the chapel to the cemetery. I mean, like it was
clockwork.
Just like clockwork.
Yep.
What we really do is we use these for urn release rooms. So when somebody comes in to pick up the urn of their loved one, everything's all set up nicely in here. We do the paperwork in the other room, and then come in and it just takes as much time as you need. When we have a big chapel service, then we can pull the curtain back, we rearrange the furniture.
Oh yeah,
we can fit another 40 seats in here. I mean,
I hope 150 people show up to my funeral.
average funeral size, like I said, is about roughly 100 people.
Okay.
And then this is the arrangement office. This is where we'll have a family come in. If it's a small group, if it's a larger group, we'll go up to my office upstairs. We'll talk about, are we talking burial or cremation? Are we going to pick an urn, different, memorial folders, those types of things. Which then, if we're talking burial, then leads us up to casket room.
Behind door number 1. Okay, so now we are in the coffin room.
Casket.
Casket. There
Casket.
it is. All right.
So the key difference.
Yes,
No, this is an important point of
all right.
education.
We're all going to learn here.
Okay. A coffin is the Old West style, the old what we call the toe pincher. Okay. That's also what's used in the UK. That is the style that's used in the UK and overseas, is the coffin style.
Okay.
This is what's known as a casket.
Gotcha.
Which derives from the old terminology of a chest that holds something precious. So that's how the...
Now we know.
Now we know.
I appreciate you educating me. Yes.
And so
we're in the casket room.
So when we bring a family
Yes.
up here, give them the price list, which we have to do, part of the FTC funeral rule. Tell everybody the same thing. They're all functionally going to do the same thing. Okay. The only major price difference is driven by the material. So every casket in this room, I essentially make within a couple $100, and it's a very small markup, the same on every casket. Mm-hmm. So the reason I do that is so you don't get any pressure from me, Joe, you loved your dear wife so much.
Yeah.
And this is what you have. I don't play that game.
Okay.
I don't
All right.
I don't do that old school style stuff because the weight of what we charge for, the bulk of what we charge for.
That's pink.
Primrose.
Yeah, primrose. Yeah, for sure.
Been selling that casket for 20 years.
Okay.
And they sold it for 20 years before I became funeral director. So, no, I mean, the bulk of what we do is, and what we sell is our time, expertise, service, facilities, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
The merchandise is immaterial. Now, does that mean I want somebody to run out to Costco and buy a casket? Not necessarily, because every little bit helps us continue to operate as a business, as a local business. But nobody's ever going to get any sale pressure from me.
That's good to know. I think that so many people have no idea what all goes into it, and then they feel like, at least me, a couple funerals that I've been a part of with my family, it's just kind of like, okay, it is what it is. You just don't know
And most people don't know what this stuff costs, which is why we've become very transparent. We put all of our prices on our website. We are the only funeral home in Central Washington that does that in such a clear manner. The other thing I always hear is, well, what's a casket cost these days? 10 grand? No.
Yeah.
Okay. Nicest one that we offer is $49.95. It's a solid cherry. This is the one I want to be buried in.
This is super cool over here, what you have.
I'm going to go ahead.
Not this casket.
No,
the casket's cool. But
So this is our records. So our funeral homes are a conglomeration over the years of 3 different funeral homes in the county. One time, I think Sadie from the museum told me that there was like 4 or 5 different undertakers operating in Ellensburg.
alone.
In the late 1800s. We've really consolidated down now. So Ellensburg had a funeral home. Cle Elum had a funeral home. Roslyn had a funeral home. Roslyn then got absorbed into Cle Elum. And Cle Elum then got absorbed into Ellensburg.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is the movie theater one of those?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Roslyn Theater used to be what was known as the Roslyn Funeral Home.
Okay.
So I've got record books for Roslyn going all the way back to, drum roll please,
A lot older than any of us.
1899.
Okay.
And so that's the Adam and Stoves book. It's really, there's not much in there.
Well, that's a good thing, right?
Well, in terms of helpful information, I guess would be the way to phrase that. You really got to know what you're aiming for.
Can you read that?
Sort of.
Okay. We have ChatGPT read it for us.
See, I'm old enough to remember how to write.
Oh, okay.
So, not like you young bucks. And then over time, funeral records have gotten a little more standardized. Stopped doing record books in about 2004, I think was the last one.
Now it's online?
It's all digital.
Okay.
It's all paper copies. It's all of that. But somebody can call and say, hey, you took care of my great-grandfather a number of years ago. What was so I'll flip through the book. This is the index that goes all the way through 2000 by last name, when they died, what book they're in. And I can tell you a lot. What's today's date? May 15th?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, well, in 1951, nobody died in Ellensburg on May 15th.
Look at that.
On May 17th, Abraham Smith died. Okay. He was 71 years old, and we learned all about him. The service was held here Saturday, May 19th at 2 o'clock. Burial was at IOOF. The Methodist minister officiated. Rock of Ages in the garden. Mrs. Larimer played the organ. Now, Mrs. Larimer, too, by the way, she played funerals for years.
Oh, okay.
Silver broadcloth casket. Total funeral at that time was $585.
So this stuff really makes me like get a good picture of how much of a cornerstone. This has been in the community for 100 years.
Yeah, we have cared for this facility or this funeral home as an institution.
Yeah.
Whether it was Honeycutt, Evenson, Cotton, Stewart and Williams, the dark days of our corporate time, and then now Johnston and Williams. We have cared for generation upon generation.
That is cool.
Of Kittitas County families.
It's not something people think about at all until they need a funeral home.
Yeah. It's kind of one of those things. We're on a busy intersection, but we're not on one of the busiest streets in town. People don't always know that we're here. A lot of people also don't know that we maintain an office in Cle Elum. So we have.
Where's your office in Cle Elum?
It's right downtown. It's in the Coleman building. So same building as Maritidal Miners Pizza on the back end. And that's been the funeral home since that building was constructed. We've cared for, like I said, we've cared for generations upon generations of families. I kind of name this one the Bridgham after Murphy Bridgham, who was the gentleman that Honeycutt bought from. And he got shot in the chest.
Ouch.
Didn't
recover?
Did not recover. He's buried up at IOOF.
Okay.
A little shout out to our county.
Oh, I kind of like this one.
The Barnwood. Fairview Barnwood.
Fairview Barnwood? Come on. We live there.
Tiana Way, and then the Evenson Cherry, of course, named after George Evenson, George and Betty.
Cool.
And then the Williams Pine, which is named after Ed Williams. So he's the Williams of Johnston and Williams.
That was my next question.
He's also up at the cemetery. Then my office, which it is a working office.
Come on. If this is his working office, this is fantastic.
Well, this is messy for me.
Okay. I need you to come into my office and clean it up.
But one of the coolest pieces of history that I have was called the Womack system.
All right.
Okay. So back in the 50s and 60s, there was a gentleman in Spokane by the name of Merrill Womack. He had an absolutely fantastic voice. And he would sing at funerals at Ripplinger Funeral Home, which is up on North Division. Okay. Well, he got popular. And people started wanting him to sing at funerals at some of the other funeral homes in Spokane. Well, he couldn't be everywhere at once. Yeah. So a light bulb went off in his head. He went, I can record myself, and then I can lease these machines to funeral homes with full tape libraries.
These are ahead of his time.
He was phenomenally ahead of his time.
Yeah.
So if you're the funeral director in the back, then you knew to have.
No way.
If you weren't sad when you got here, you would be by the time you had to listen to this.
It's the sad box.
And then during the day,
you'd
always want to have background music on, people coming in for viewings or services or pre-load, post-load. So he came up with these big, what we called long play tapes.
Yeah.
Okay. And you could come in the morning and you could turn that on and just leave it running all day. You didn't have to worry about changing CDs. You didn't have to worry about setting anything to repeat. It just kept going and going. And again, if you weren't sad when you got here,
it's the sad box.
Yeah. I salvaged this from a funeral home over in Tacoma that was just going to throw it away. And I was like, no!
Good work.
Random collection of all sorts of stuff.
We got to get you a Brightside hat, a Big Dog hat.
Yeah, my hat collection, actually. These are all from families that I've cared for. So Central Washington Dairy Products took care of Mitch's dad, took care of Daryl Johnson, Tara K. Brown's dad, took care of Mr. Hutchinson, an ECP. And then this is my favorite one. This is my Mama Cass hat. And Mama Cass was an Upper County legend.
Okay.
She lived in the Lower County. She drove bus for years. Then she moved to Roslyn, and then she'd go to Puerto Vallarta for the winter. Well, she would buy these hats in bulk, and she would just hand them out to people in Puerto Vallarta with the little spinny top. And her daughter gave me this, and I keep that there because Mama Cass and I, even though I only knew her for, I think we've initially met to set up her arrangements 4 months before she died, made a heck of an impact on me. She was just so straightforward about it. She just wanted to get it done. She wanted to make sure it was going to be taken care of. Oh, yeah. And so when Trish gave me this,
that's cool.
I see it every time I smile.
All right, so we're back downstairs.
Yep. This is what's called the family room. Each one of these rooms is named in honor of a former owner. So this is the Honeycutt room. They were the family that built the funeral home. And there's the Williams room, and then there's the Cotton room named after Paul Cotton. And then the Evenson Memorial Chapel. So that encompasses.
Where's your room gonna go?
Somebody can pick.
Okay.
But this is what was known for the longest time as the family room. And so back in the day, families would sit here. I used to call it the Victorian cry room. More and more now, people want to sit out front. They want to feel loved. They want to feel supported. Yeah. And so this just turns into overflow. Pro tip for anybody that attends a funeral: get here early. Because if you show up
we're right here
at 10:57 for an 11 o'clock service and we're full, you're going to sit back here. So
Show up early for funerals.
Now, the cool thing, if you really want to look at this, remember I said all the little touches that George Evenson left on this place?
Yes.
Okay, is one right here. That little thumbtack.
Okay. Yeah.
That little thumbtack has been there for probably close to 70 years.
All right.
And what that little thumbtack is when you pull these two doors together, that is the perfect center point for both doors, and every single space between these two doors is going to be exactly the same. And then from the days when it was the family room, you put the family coat rack back here.
Look at that.
So, and a lot of times, again, the family would come in through the garage. They'd have their own area back here. And so just a lot of those cool little
details that show the long history.
Kind of our back working office. Oh yeah, that printer came with the building. It's been here forever. Yeah. So kind of our back work office. You know, we have to get guest books ready. Yeah. Print memorial folders, those sorts of things. Yeah. Downstairs is the old. Let's go down there real quick, actually, because there's a fun story that comes with that. Okay. So this second bathroom never used to be here. This used to be all one room. Okay, and that was what was known as the dorm room. Mm-hmm. So. Say you're going to Central and you're going to work at the funeral home. Okay, no cell phones, no pagers. Somebody had to be here to answer the phone. Okay, so if you were on call Tuesdays and Thursdays, you were living down here Tuesdays and Thursday nights, and had a little kitchenette, had a bed, had a TV. You used the bathroom to brush your teeth and do what you needed to. But then if you needed to shower,
the basement shower. How?
Well, the upper shower.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
Check this out. Is there a light that we can turn on?
There is, and I'll use the.
Oh my goodness!
That was how you got up
there. Just in case you thought our shower situation. Well,
that would be one of the mystery breakers from when we got the electrical panels replaced that we were not quite able to identify.
No, we found it.
We found it.
Yeah, exactly.
But then you come downstairs, watch your head. You're a tall guy. You're braver than most people. Most people don't want to look behind any doors at a funeral home. But there is storage nooks and crannies all over this place. But this is the original coal boiler, which is what used to heat the building. Okay. And back there where that fan is, that was the old coal chute. So the coal truck would come by, shovel a bunch of coal down in here. You had to warm it up. You throw the coal into the burner, and that's how you kept the building warm.
You got warm doing it.
And then, you did. And then it converted to gas at some point, and then at some point, I think it was early 2000s, they put rooftop HVAC unit.
We're good.
But most people assume. Yeah. The embalming room's in the basement. Oh, the caskets are in the basement.
No, this is a heater.
This is the extent of the basement of this place. This does not have a giant.
So this is on slab, or is this? There's your access right there.
Yeah, pretty close. And one back there. So there's really nothing special about this room as it is right now. But this is what used to be called the organ room. There was a big honking electric organ that was wired into the sound system.
Gotcha.
So when the musicians would get here, they'd come in the back door.
Sneaky.
When the pastor would get here, he'd come in the back door. Nobody ever saw who was singing at a funeral. It was live music, but nobody ever saw who was singing, which is how Merrill Womack got away with doing all the recording, because it was coming from behind the curtain. Nobody knew. When it came time
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Exactly. Yeah. When the minister would get ready to start, he would walk through the curtain, start the funeral, and that was pretty much how it went. We will cut out this way, though, just to kind of give an idea of a little bit of the flow before we look into the garage.
Okay.
So on funeral days, when we have a chapel service here.
This is a beautiful carport.
They don't build it like this anymore.
Wow.
They absolutely do not build it like this anymore. So these double doors here, those go into the front of the chapel, off to the side. Yeah. So we'll park the lead car, the hearse, family car, all under the carport. We get the garage all cleaned up and pull family cars through so they can be first in the procession.
Yep.
And again, remember what I said about the flow? You had one movement in mind.
Yes, exactly.
So, want to go check out the
Let's check out the garage.
Okay.
Yep. We'll go through the big door.
They don't do this anymore either.
Oh, what? A key to open the door. And this is your baby.
And there's my pride and joy right there. We're also remodeling our bathroom, so we've got
I know that life.
All sorts of stuff. This hearse would be my pride and joy right here. One of the things that Sadie from the museum has also pointed out to me back in the day, so back in the day meaning late 1800s, early 1900s, every funeral home in town promoted how nice their hearse was. So feels like a tradition to a certain extent.
You're holding that tradition because your hearse is pretty nice.
Come around back. Death is a mystery to a lot of people. And death is scary to a lot of people. The number one thing is I'm a funeral director, but I'm also a human. I'm just a regular guy, just running a business in town. I just happen to work with dead people and their families. Casket just rolls in there, hits the stopper. We put the stopper on the other end.
Look at that. Look at that action.
I gotta grease that. And all of our cars have law enforcement memorial plates. And we do that not only for every law enforcement officer in our state, but again in memory of Deputy Thompson.
Yeah,
so,
no question. That was a hard time.
One room that I think mystifies, one of two rooms that mystifies a lot of people, is the crematory. Okay.
Yep.
So this is what's known as Inland Crematory. It is the only licensed crematory physically located in Kittitas County. So what that means is from the time that we initially transfer somebody into our care, through the process, through the cremation and back, they never leave this building.
That's nice and efficient.
This natural gas operates at approximately 1750 degrees for about 3 hours.
That's pretty warm.
Guy your size would be about 3.5.
All right, 3.5. Mark your timer.
And then there's about a 2.5 hour, 3 hour cool down period. And what's left is, and this is why I use very specific terminology. Okay. It's not ashes. Okay. It's cremated remains. And that's something that we as a society, I think we need to get better at.
Cremated remains.
Cremated remains. Okay. So what's left after the cremation is done is all of the non-carbon parts of our body. In that urn or that box or whatever you call it, say we cremated you, that's still Joe, just in a smaller form.
Condensed.
It's not less than, it's not just, it's not any of that, which is why when we were looking in the lobby, the Ark of the Covenant.
Exactly.
That's what we put an urn on to transport in the hearse to a church service, to the cemetery. However, we don't give up that level of respect.
That's cool.
Because it's an urn. Nothing drives me crazier than society trying to tell ourselves or minimize grief by saying it's just a body, it's just a shell, it's just, if it were just anything, then I wouldn't need fancy cars. I wouldn't need, to do everything the way that we do because it's just something. But that's where it gets into conflict because we try to sell ourselves that, but if we approach it from any other way than we do, then, that's horrible, you can't do that, that's my mom. Well, it's either one or the other. So
that's interesting.
Kind of laid out, cools down just a little bit, and then we separate out the metal, hips, shoulders, elbows, anything metal, hardware.
I've got hardware in this leg.
Okay, so that would get separated out after the cremation. That gets recycled, and we get a portion of that recycling money back that we then donate back into town to different causes in the community. Everything's pushed down into the hopper. Hopper comes down into a bag, and that's how we arrive at it. And cremated remains are pretty much the consistency of what I would say, like that Himalayan pink salt that you get in the grinder. That and smaller. Everybody that gets cremated has to be placed into at least what we call a minimum container. Cardboard suffices for that. It's not a casket, but it functions as a casket. And it also makes sure that they're properly covered. I'm not just going to slide somebody in to the retort. That's what we call this, the retort.
The retort.
No, everybody deserves, no matter type of disposition, everybody deserves that type of respect.
Cool.
So questions I get from folks is, how do I know that the cremated remains are, or do you, well, number one, do you cremate more than one at a time, more than one person at a time? No. Okay. One person per cremation. Okay. And then everybody is assigned a metal disc. It has Inland Crematory, Ellensburg, and their number. Okay. Everybody that's cremated is assigned a cremation ID number, and that gets recorded in the book. It gets recorded in two different places. One copy that goes to the health department of the burial transit permit, so that if there's ever a question, the health department can go, well, we can flip through and see what memories brought us, so we know who it is. One stays on our permanent record, and then this stays permanently affixed. Wonderful systems. Yes. Nobody has any systems better than I do. Okay. They're fantastic. They're wonderful. Tremendous. Same thing, keeping track of who's where in the It's the cooler. I hate the term cooler. The cold room, whatever you want to
Cold
call it.
room.
Henry's Hotel. I mean, we keep track so that everybody's logged on the board. Everybody's got a sticker on their shelf so that we know, and everybody gets an ankle band. So we know exactly who's where, what, when,
You got
when
it.
they get locked. So there's checks, balances, double checks that we're not going to get anything messed up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
And then look at this garage. They don't build them like this anymore. I mean, this is
I'm
like
envious of
full
this
on.
garage, yeah. Look at
Look at this finished ceiling. Getting the lighting replaced here in a couple of weeks. These are some old fixtures. And we're going to make this our auto detail bay. One of the big things that I am exceptionally picky about is cars are always clean. The cars get washed before every funeral.
Gotcha.
Even if it's raining and snowing, they're still going to get washed, and they're going to leave our garage clean. So I can look at a car and tell you if it was dirty when it left the garage, and then we just added more dirt to it.
Yeah. These are white cars.
They are.
Why are they not black cars?
You rolled up in a black car.
I did.
How hard is that to keep clean?
It's horrible.
On a good day.
Yeah, it's horrible to keep clean. Yeah.
No, we went with white for two things. Number one, yes, funerals are sad, but we don't have to be dark and dour. That's also why I'm not in a suit. I mean, like the only times you're going to see me in a suit is I'm transferring somebody into our care, meeting with a family, or directing a funeral.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, 9 times out of 10,
walk through
you
the
come
door.
by, you're going to get Henry in either long
You get what you
sleeves.
get here in Ellensburg. This is how I'm a real estate broker. And people don't really. Yeah. So.
But no, white cars are also easier to keep clean because you take them to church on a windy day. You were to come out, the black car would be just covered in dust.
Big fireplace in here.
Yeah, so that's actually that's from George Evenson's day as well. That was originally the first way that this garage was heated before.
Do you ever use it anymore?
No. No, before the gas burner heater went in. But it was also important to George that on funeral days, because remember, family cars pull through here. In the summertime, we put some under the carport and some in the garage. In the wintertime, we just keep as many family cars in the garage as we can so that they're warm when we get ready to go to the cemetery. And it was important to George that when they get out of the car, that it wasn't this cold, sterile garage, that it was a fire. It was comfortable. It was home.
Totally. It's so cool to hear all the history as you've been just like mentioning the different owners and what they did. And it's just you're continuing the legacy for everybody here.
And then this is the
shop, huh?
Well, the workroom, basically. So we're not going to go in there today. If there's interest in a full-on discussion of embalming,
comment below if you want to
more
see
than
more.
happy to do that. But that's a whole nother discussion. If you think I'm a big enough funeral nerd, I am really an embalming nerd.
All right.
So it's kind of the workroom. This is where we'll get people dressed. We have our lift. It definitely saves my back. And then all our extra tables, extra chemical supplies, chairs, you name it.
Oh, so those are your old chairs.
The 40 that we saved. Yes.
Okay.
44
for overflow.
For overflow.
Nice.
Yep.
Great.
Yep. And then the rest went to Cle Elum. We were actually able to outfit both funeral homes with pews and chairs.
That's great.
So
cool.
But
good.
That's pretty much it.
Good. I like it. So we have the Ark of the Covenant here.
Funeral ark.
Oh, funeral ark.
This is used for when the person's been cremated, and we can customize it a couple different ways. Transported in the hearse, just like a casket would.
That's cool.
Because
That respect level you're
Yes.
talking about, even though it's now, what was your name for it?
Cremated remains.
Cremated remains.
Still
just
that person.
Still that
in
person.
smaller form.
That leads me into one of my questions for you is, what would you say is your heart for the community? I can kind of hear it in everything you've been talking about, that you just love your part of passing the baton of stewarding our community well through the funeral home. So you want to dive into that a little bit?
When you own the town funeral home, you become a very, very intricate part of town. You walk with people at their absolute worst times.
Yeah.
What I first started out is just being the guy at the funeral home that was taking care of things. I didn't know anybody.
Sure.
Now I'm burying or cremating or caring for a lot more of my friends. Not just friends, but parents of my friends, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
We're just like any other local business. Okay. We sponsor dinners, we sponsor golf tournaments, we donate to stuff.
Yeah, really active.
We try to be very active in the community. If we don't do that, then we're taking from the community. Because when people call, they have to make choices, and so it's important for us to give back. And then the other thing too is the old guard of the business community, both Ellensburg and Cle Elum, the Brad Fitters, the Normwood, the Russ Bell Sauces, all of those retiring or dying. Okay, so it's up to guys our age now that own businesses in town to step up and carry that for town.
Yep.
You know, making sure that the downtown cleanups are happening, making sure that when Rotary has a fundraiser, that money's getting raised and tickets are getting sold. I'm going to be 40 this year. I mean,
it happens quick, huh?
It does.
Yeah.
You just wait.
I am waiting. Yeah,
you wait.
Yeah, I'm going to wait.
No, that's just the biggest thing is we just don't want the funeral home to be seen as an outlier in the community. We want to be part of the community.
Yeah.
And in everything that we do, we try to embrace that, because as Ed Williams used to say, one hand washes the other. And when you look around at these types of community events and these community sponsorships, pay attention to who's sponsoring what.
Okay.
And when it comes to selecting a funeral
that's a great
home,
encouragement.
Pay attention to which funeral home is really investing back into the community.
Yeah. No, I really appreciate your heart, and I think we're of one mind there of just trying to give back and pour into our community that we love so much. And that's why we do these small business spotlights, because we're able to show you guys, maybe you had no idea, I'd passed through this for 7 years, just on the street, never come in here. And then you have given us this tour. It's been really eye-opening as far as the history and the significance of the building, but also more importantly, you and the people that are helping serve the community. So we really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for coming by.
Of course.
Appreciate it.
Definitely. If you like this kind of content and exploring Central Washington, and especially these small business spotlights where I get to showcase some of our local businesses, be sure to like and subscribe.